Hello, this is Paint and Parley, Chapter 3. Tonight we'll be discussing terrain, upcoming projects, and possibly how terrain actually works on tabletop gaming. Okay, so right now what I'm working on is an Indian village project for French Identity War. So I have put I went ahead and put a layer of sand on the bases, and I'm painting them, and then I'm going to be dry brushing them. So what I'm right now doing is doing the base coat for all the sand. Then I'm going to go back and dry brush them. Moment here. So what this is the stockade or the palisade around the Indian village, the northeast woodland, like the Iroquois or the Abenaki Indians, would actually have a stockades fashioned, um, like a palisade around their villages. And what I've done is I've scratch built some wigwams here. Okay. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm sharing the link to um, the Miniature Modeling Mayhem group, as well as the Tucson Elite Gamers Painters group. Elite Miniature Painters. Okay. So if you don't feel comfortable joining the chat live, you can actually I posted a link for the YouTube channel, and you can actually go onto the YouTube channel and participate in the chat via the texting, because that's what I'm doing right now. All right, so projects for terrain. You know, I do feel that I am one of the odd ducks when it comes to wargaming because I spend an awful lot of time on terrain. The other wargamers usually don't spend time on terrain. Usually what I've noticed is that folks will spend enormous amounts of time painting their models, a little effort and time to paint up or set up terrain. To me, painting the models is important, and I think that obviously it's called miniature gaming for a reason. But the terrain that the models are on, I find is doubly important. It's like having a good frame to a portrait. If you have a no frame or if you have a crappy frame, it necessarily do well to show off the portrait itself. So doing this as an assembly line, the paint up these palisades. So the muskets and tomahawks, in the rules, it actually requires a certain number of structures to be played with, depending on the number of points or the size of the game that you're playing. Now, in front of me are 4 wigwams, which will allow me to use each wigwam as a separate structure, so that'll be fine. The built a burnt out log cabin in the past, so that's my 5th structure so far after I get these wigwams completed. But what I'm doing is I'm doing a village, so my intent is to do the palisades as well as do so I've got and I also have a pumpkin patch, which would be kind of neat. So I'll have those 2 things in the Indian village as well. So between the and when I initially got this corn, I thought it would be green, but it's actually yellow. It's kind of a dried out corn. So what I intend on doing then, since I've got a pumpkin patch with pumpkins that are fully grown, is terrain more in the lines of an autumn type of setup. So possibly like October, November, where the corn stalks are dried out and the pumpkins are ready to be plucked. So In which case, unfortunately, I'm going to have to build some multicolored trees after I work on this stuff here. So when I work on those trees, um, that'll tie everything together for a fall theme, like an autumn type of theme. And it'll make an interesting looking battlefield too, because I mean, if battlefield's all red, orange, and yellow trees, and I obviously have a lot of green trees because that's what I already have. It'll definitely lend itself. Alrighty. Okay. All right. It's a good assembly line of this. Also, and what I think is nice is that, especially with skirmish type games, focusing on terrain, uh, just aesthetics, but also playability. Because when you're doing a skirmish game, you're not dealing with a huge formation of models on the table against another huge formation of models. You're talking about utilizing the terrain that's in place and going from here to there and so forth, which you can't do when you have very little terrain on the table. You tend to behind the one or two pieces of terrain and then you're stuck. So that can be an issue when you got not enough terrain. Okay. So what will be nice is when I make this village, I've got these stockades going on. I've got 4 of these wigwams. What I also have going on is got the center of the village with a little fireplace area. This right here is another one. You don't see it here yet because I haven't glued on the pumpkin patch to this, but this will be the pumpkin patch. We'll have some pumpkins and the vines all over this. So, but I'm painting up the bases just to make sure that they're all done correctly. Now these corn, I've actually mounted 2 corn per washer. Um, is almost like made of a paper type of thing, so it's kind of delicate to protect. protect the corn for the most part when they're stored. And of course, having 2 corn per washer is good because I can either make them in rows, which makes it easier that way, or I can mix them up, which I think I'll do with the Indian village to make it less European looking. But I have 28 stands of corn here. When I start doing the European type settlements, I'll probably get more corn to fill out a single field. Probably double the amount of corn that I have, maybe even quadruple it. Because the amount of corn I have here is good for the Indian village, where it's just a small little patch, or it can be inside the village and it wouldn't be a problem. But it's never good to have a small patch of corn in a European type of town, because or even wheat for that matter, because it just doesn't look realistic. Hello?
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Anton?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Doing good.
I thought I came onto the wrong channel for a second. You were talking about corn.
Talking about terrain. I'm working on terrain tonight
Oh, sounds good. Oh, well, hey,
for French Anymore.
oh, very cool. How did you do that? It looks like a toothpick and.
Well, I wish I actually did that, but it's corn I got from a railroad modeling.
Oh, okay.
And shop, and then I just glued it to washers, and I put sand on the bottom of the washer, and I'm
that'll
working
work.
on it right there. Yeah, I didn't scratch build not that good yet.
I think you could do it.
Yeah, possibly. But
Speaking of terrain, I'm trying to do some rice paddies, and I've had a couple attempts at it. Haven't gotten anything good yet. So if you got any tips on rice paddies, I'd appreciate it.
I made a couple of rice paddies for my Ronin game. What I did was I used a flat MDF board and cut it up into like a foot long by inches wide pieces. I beveled the edges, and then I put sand on the very edges, glued that down, and then the center was the watered area. I used paint that I thought would be glossy, but it turned out to time. So it's not as glossy as I wish, but I did it kind of a brown gloss over the flat MDF board because that was nice and dry and smooth. Because I'm not very good at doing what I don't know. I'm kind of intimidated by the water effect type stuff.
I dabble with it. I've tried 3 types, and I like the Vallejo water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after that, I got the silver grass, and I glued grass clumps in rows on the water.
Yeah. That's what I've been trying to do, but it doesn't come out right. It looks like tufts of grass sticking out of like glossy ground.
Well, I mean, that's what it should look like, actually.
I mean, even my berms aren't looking that good, but this is very small. I'm doing like a 2x2 patches, you know, of these patties. So
So
It's
what
hard to
game is
see.
this for?
This is for the Catan
For
board.
what?
The Catan board.
Catan?
I'm doing
It in 28 millimeter?
uh, I'm doing the no, it's about a 20-inch by 20-inch board with 2-inch tiles, and I'm doing a Japanese theme. So
Huh.
instead of the woods, I'm doing the cherry blossom trees. Instead of the grain, I'm doing rice paddies. And then one of
Oh,
the
okay.
mountains will be Mount Fuji. And it's a commission for one of my friends in Michigan. Um,
Really?
yeah. So I hope to have it done in a couple of
I
weeks.
have you done the cherry blossom trees yet?
Not yet. I'll have that done tomorrow. Hopefully, I bought a few online on eBay.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
They're cheap, but they'll work. Um, the really nice ones are from like a railroad company, like you said, but then you're paying like $20 for 3 trees, and
Yeah.
I just can't do that.
Well, I went cheap with the cherry blossom trees. I went to Hobby Lobby and
Mm-hmm.
got a flower arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers are I'm not really into flowers, but I cut them out and mounted them on the F board. I might have one or two here. Just a
You have
sec.
one lamp. Let's see it. I didn't realize my camera wasn't on. There we go. Oh, that's fancy. That's about 15 times bigger than I needed, though.
Yeah, but
I have to scale it down.
well, I mean, there's a miniature next to it that's about 28 millimeter scale.
That's a pretty big dude. Hang on, let me go show you what I picked up. I'll go find one. All right. Sorry for the delay. I didn't realize my camera wasn't on.
No worries.
So here we have an eBay cherry blossom tree.
Huh. Okay.
So here's my small finger, so no scale there. And here is my pathetic attempt at a rice paddy.
It's kind of small.
Well, yeah, like I said, they have to fit on these 2x2 hexes.
Oh, okay. So that'll make it difficult.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see. There's you were right about Google Chrome. It seems like it's the only way to get it to work. I tried Firefox, and then I tried Edge, and I
Yeah.
was running into issues. So you got to run Chrome, or it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you got your setup in your workshop. At least you can work and do the video at the same time.
Well, I moved it to the gaming room to make it a better connection to the internet, and also it's air conditioned.
That's very nice. Yeah, but you can run Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable all the way out to your workshop.
I can actually broadcast in my workshop. It's just that I have to have the door open and stuff like that. So
Oh no, but the cable is
otherwise,
much
it's
better
sometimes
connection speed.
Yeah.
I crawled up in the crawl space in our roof of our house, and I ran Cat 6 cable everywhere.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. And then I had to do it again for the security cameras, which was kind of a disaster because they came crashing through the roof, through the ceiling of the guest bedroom.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, that really did. Yeah.
You're all right?
Yeah, it was fine. I caught myself coming down, so about half of from like the waist down, I was dangling. You know,
Wow.
not a good
Bet
time.
you Blue was pretty upset.
Yeah, that was another $400 in repairs.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
That's not good.
I watched the guy work, and I learned some stuff about installing drywall and whatnot.
Well, that's good.
Another skill. So let's see what else I haven't been painting much. There's a new game that came out online, was released today, so I've been playing that. I've been waiting on it for 2 years or so.
It's a good game.
It was a Kickstarter. It was a BattleTech Kickstarter.
Oh, really? Like the MechWarrior game?
Exactly, but it's turn-based, and it's kind of view from above, or I don't know how you describe it. And it's just the beta right now.
Like classic BattleTech, huh?
Exactly. So I'm doing the beta testing for it.
That's cool.
Yeah. And a few guys from the TGG shop are doing it as well. Michael and Mark and David.
All right. Yeah.
So not as
I
much.
didn't want Mike. Yeah, they're not into painting, are they?
Actually, Mike painted up his he's painted up some things. Yeah, he had some Tyranids he's painted, and painted up his mechs with kind of like a flame style, flame colors on all his mechs. But honestly, I don't like it just because they all look the same to me. I can't tell them apart.
Okay.
And let's see, I don't know if I have any pictures. That's the thing, is with this, you can't really add files to the. I guess when you post this, I'll be able to comment and add pictures and things in the comments.
So with the Hangouts, your cursor to the left.
Yep.
There's some options there.
I see an add app.
Screen share.
Control room, screen share. Let's see. Scale share. Okay, show the contents of my screen.
So you can actually pick what you want to do right on your computer and then do a screen share if you want.
All right, stand by. I've never done this, so let me.
No worries. I have very little experience running these things.
I don't even know where I put all this stuff. Okay, I don't know if that's sharing. That's a terrible picture, actually. I don't know if that's coming through.
I don't see it. I'm going to focus on you. Oh, there it is. So you got a bear and a
tiger, actually. And this is one of the minis I painted up for Scythe. I think it's like a 25 millimeter maybe. But
okay.
I have trouble with faces, and the tiger didn't come out nearly as good as I wanted it to. Came out a lot more brown and yellow than white.
Oh, I see.
So let me see if I can pull up some other ones I painted up. These were the mechs that go with Scythe.
Nice. You did a good job on those.
Actually, these were really quick. It was just an airbrush, quick coat of hull red. And then
yeah,
I put the little decals from the Imperial Guard up there, so it's the 812.
All right.
Uh,
IG. Called that anymore. I guess they're called something different.
I think they're still called IG. So that's that. Let's see if I painted up some other stuff. Here's one that I did for Scythe as well. He came out a little bit better. And I based
Oh,
this one
wolf guy,
after,
huh?
you know, my friend Robert, big black guy, moved to Alamogordo.
Yeah.
I kind of made it look like
Um.
him.
Oh, okay.
He was a big fan of Scythe.
Does he have a big full beard?
He does have a beard for a while. Let's see. So this is one of the mechs that goes with it. And I did kind of like a jungle pattern on him.
Huh. Nice.
And then
I've seen the paintings for the game, like the art that they had.
oh, the artwork was beautiful.
They look like they're like 20 stories tall. That's neat.
Yeah, and then here's a tractor mech. Kind of steampunky.
That reminds me of the Tsar Mac, the Tsar tank. I think that's what it's called.
In what?
Tank. It was a real tank that the Russians had in
Oh,
World War One.
I did
I
not.
don't have any
I didn't know they did
on
a
my
lot of tank
computer.
warfare in World War One, especially not the Russians.
Oh, it would have been kind of some like out of sight. Is that the Brimstone game?
This is Shadows of Brimstone. So you remember how I talked that like I had all these guys magnetized, and then you put them on the board, and they snap together, and nobody stayed, you know. So I filled it with the iron dust, and now the magnets stay on the case, and they just kind of stay in place.
Oh, okay.
And this was my first attempt at blending colors. You can see here on his tentacles, and here on the tentacles as well. And this was kind of like,
It looks pretty slimy.
yeah, it was airbrushing, and then different kind of like, before you really clean out the airbrush, you add the new color, and you let it blend a little bit. And then I just did a gloss coat to give it that slime effect.
Oh, wow.
And then here was one that I mounted on a rock I found out in a ravine out back behind the house.
Oh, nice.
He was a little top heavy for his base, so I went ahead and scrapped the base and just kind of put him on this thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, he came out pretty good.
I bet you that rock weighs things down. That's for sure, huh?
Yeah, it really does.
Game?
Yeah, here's another example of the shading and the blending.
Oh, nice.
And then you got the Imperial Guard, you know, machete there, Karachan. So I use a lot of bits and different things.
I take it you have Imperial Guard for 40K?
You know, I did for a while, and I really wanted to get into it because I love the fluff. But the mechanics of the game were just so bad, that eventually I sold like $3,000 worth of shit for like $350, all painted.
Oh no!
I was like, I'm out. Can't do it anymore. There's got to be better games out there.
Yeah, they try to rehash that old set of rules that they have. Every time they set up a new set of rules, it's based off of that old strength, toughness, ballistic skill stuff.
You know, I'm sure it worked great in the 70s and 80s, but we're a little bit beyond the D6 base system now. And
yeah,
I don't see a lot of variety between the models.
Well, the models are fantastically painted, or not painted, but
oh,
sculpted.
I'm not talking about the sculpts. I meant like the units themselves. You know, you're either ballistic skill 3 or you're a 4. Nothing in between, really. You know, there's not a lot of variety there.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is
So you got there a Minotaur?
no. This is shit. I don't even know how to explain this. He's a goat. He's kind of like a ram. And I made him for Robert. Again, he wanted to play a character in an RPG that I was running. And Robert doesn't paint, so he picked out the mini, and I painted it up for him. And this is what we call a goat bastard. And you know, the hardest part about painting this mini for me was the shield. Getting the straight lines on the shield was very difficult. And I don't work very well with white. For some reason, white never seems to, either it's too runny and it just kind of it doesn't stick like the other paint, or it just kind of, I don't know. I never had a lot of luck with white. That's why I don't use it much.
Yeah, with white, what I do is I build up gray.
And
Get gray into the recesses and so forth, and then up lighter and lighter until I get to the white.
Yeah.
Highlight, more or less.
I didn't paint any of this. I'm not going to claim any credit. This came pre-painted. This was a Kickstarter.
Dwarven Forge or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. It was like a village or something like this that I backed. So here it is on the table.
Nice.
Yeah. Outrageously expensive. Shouldn't have bought it, but it's been sitting in a box ever since. I just haven't had a group. Play.
That can be used for role playing as well as other gaming.
Yeah. So I mean, I have it. It's not like it's obsolete. We use Roll20, a lot more. So here's the Go Bastard painted.
Was that an old GW model?
No. This is from a game. It's like Egyptian, gods and their armies or something like that. I forgot what it was called. It looked cool. I just never got the rules down. I never played it, but I have the models.
Nice. All right.
I can't quite make out what the name of the company is right there, but
I don't know either. I can't read that.
Yeah. Here's a ghoul I painted up. I like how.
Oh, that was from Descent.
Is it? Is that a Descent model?
Oh, yeah.
Because I have so many games that require zombies that I kind of recycle them, and I have no idea where they came from. And he was a really quick one to paint. It was just like, the base neon green, and then some white linen, and then wash, and call it good.
Okay.
Well, the thing with these zombies and these ghouls, you want to crank them out. I really don't invest a lot of time in painting them because they're mooks. I just need a bunch of them for the table.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad saying that, but it's true.
Well, no, it's truth.
Yeah, see if you recognize this one.
No, I don't recognize that one.
That's from Kingdom Death Monster.
Oh, okay.
The one I told you about where, the hand is separate from the forearm, from the torso, from each leg is separate. And then you piece together the weapons, here you can see some hot glue strings hanging around there. So I was able to, but you can choose the weapon. So in this one, she's double wielding these founding stones with the face carved into it. Beautiful sculpts.
Cool. What do you got there?
This is a monument for Scythe. I don't know if you've ever played Scythe.
No, I never played it.
It's a really good game. But you can
I'll have to try that out.
Yeah, you can build, monuments for your civilization or whatever your faction. And I wasn't happy with the little wooden block that they use as to represent the monument. So each faction, I made their own monument for them. So here you have the Tree of Life, and then you have kind of like a Nordic one here.
All right.
And then here's another mech site. It's like a ship. Yeah, I think that's all of them. I don't have the other pictures. Oh, well. Enough about that. I'm not going to monopolize.
What are you working on tonight?
What am I working on tonight? Not a damn thing.
Oh.
It's sad because I'm not working right now. You think I'd have all this spare time to do whatever the hell I want. And I barely manage it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it. But I need to go back to work at some point. So it seems like there's always something else that takes precedence over painting,
It's easy to get distracted, that's for sure.
I've been working on that Catan board for the last 2 days, just to get it shipped out to my buddy.
Nice.
You know what? I think I'm gonna go grab it and see if I can. If it's dry, I'll bring it in and show it. If not, I'll have to let it go. Let's take a look. All right, well, it's dry, but it's not, hang on, let me get some light here. It's not finished, obviously. So.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the hardest part was making.
So you have making a what?
The template for these pieces to snap into. The 2-inch X's just kind of fit in there like that.
Oh, okay. Pretty slick.
I have to put a coat of clear blue on it, and then it'll be. Yeah, let me show you a picture of one that's finished. Okay, and do screen sharing again. There you go. Finished product.
All right. Outstanding. A volcano is the desert?
No, you got desert tile here. This is it was a home rule for a volcano that could potentially explode and level anything adjacent to it. And of course, like a dumbass, I always build next to the volcano, and every time it burns me. But you can see the deep water here, and then I kind of did the blending to get the shadow stuff. The beach didn't really come out all that well, but this was a prototype. It's okay. And then I have some
I think it was.
some slow blinking red LEDs that I was gonna put inside the volcano.
That'd be slick.
That would be pretty slick. And they require a watch battery, so I can easily kind of hollow out the inside of it and wire it up that way.
Okay.
So that is that.
Outstanding. All right, so I'm still doing this, doing the base coats on these
Let's see what you got.
pieces of terrain. It's not much to look at. Center of the Indian village.
Okay.
It's got a little
Ruin there. What do we got?
Yeah. And then I've got a dozen of these.
Oh, cool. Palisades.
Yeah. So they go around the Indian village.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not on there now, but I'm base for the pumpkin patch will be on this.
Very authentic.
And,
pumpkin, you know, corn, squash.
Yeah. This is one of
a yurt.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a yurt. It's a wigwam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I scratch built that. So.
Very cool. Oh, is that the Sonic cup top that you were telling me about?
Yeah. Doesn't even look like a Sonic cup anymore.
Nice. No, you know, I repurposed some stuff myself. Let's see if I can find it. I doubt I kept pictures of it. It was for my friend's Tyranid army, and he was complaining that he had a beautiful army for it, but he didn't have any terrain that was kind of like specific to Tyranids. So I said, you know, man, I can probably make you some, you know, and man, I don't think I have it anymore. I don't have the pictures. This was years ago, but I used Easter eggs and jelly beans, and I made him like an alien egg chamber spawning area.
Oh, the dogs are carrying on. I right back
Go ahead.
to get let my wife in.
All right. Puppies, you being good? Let me kill this light. Oh, I know. Let's see if I have anything else painted I can show him. I don't think I do. So that was some of the artwork for site.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
All right, got the tiger.
Yeah, I was going to show you the artwork for site. Beautiful artwork. Of course, my mini doesn't look anywhere near that good. I almost feel like scrubbing it and starting over, because I'm sure I can do a better job. Here's some more artwork.
All right. My wife just brought in some Taco Bell.
Is that right? That does not sound appetizing. I owe you the first.
No, no.
Of course,
I don't know.
I made some food myself today, and it did not come out well. So I shouldn't talk. Let's see.
Oh, no worries. You live, you learn.
That's true. Yeah, let me.
When I try to cook something new that I've never cooked before, I usually go on YouTube and
Google it.
Other people doing it, and I watch them do it. Because looking at the recipe is one thing, but actually seeing someone actually doing what the recipe is saying,
yeah,
something else entirely.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like a monkey see.
Better by watching somebody do it, or having them walk me through it step by step. You know, you need that one-on-one learning. So, this is a shot from one of the RPG campaigns I was running a while back. Some of the minis I painted. So these are just dungeon tiles that came. I painted up some wolves. You can't really see it all that well. And then I would, my group is actually in Las Cruces. So I would take an overhead shot of the battlefield like that, right? And then they would tell me what they wanted to do. And then they'd go for a smoke break. I would move things around and send them a new picture.
All right.
But I have a whole display case full of minis now, and I keep giving them away, the ones that are painted, so it's never full, but yeah.
That'd be cool. So what role-playing games do you run or play?
Just one currently. It's called CCP, or Cryptozoophobia. Do you know what it means?
I've never heard of that one.
No, I designed it.
The homegrown rule set?
Yeah, it's something I've been working on. We started tweaking the rules for a system back in '94. And it was a kind of like a cyberpunk setting back then. And then all my friends were like, well, we prefer to play fantasy. Yeah. So I completely revamped the system to make it work within a fantasy setting. And we've been playing it ever since.
Okay. There is a role-playing game that play role-playing games that often because I can't really do something on a regular basis. But there's one that I was looking at called Numenera.
Huh. I've heard of it. I haven't played it.
And basically the concept is this world is civilizations have come and gone at all sorts of different levels of technology, but the world that the players are in is kind of a medieval times. Centuries in the past, there was like high technology societies that had long died, but they had left different technological things behind. And including like these nanite that come in and that are broken, and then they float away, and so things are magic to the role-playing game party, because oh no, it's a ray gun, but oh no, it's a it's a wand that shoots missiles, or some magic missiles.
Yeah,
And so I think it's kind of a cool concept because you can actually do a real fantasy type of thing, or you can make it like a um, John Carter of Mars type of, you know.
yeah. There's a lot of room for variety there.
Oh yeah, and you can come up with all sorts of different things that it could be like, oh, this thing makes a portal and to another world, which could be another continent of the world, or in actuality a space station or something like that. You never can tell.
Exactly. My system is fairly realistic in the combat, insofar that you want to avoid it if you can.
Well, that's that. All right.
It's not very forgiving. Let me see if I could pull it up. This is the hit chart that I use.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's percentile based. And so you could get hit in the heart, or the wrist, or the ear. Not terribly forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, the more realistic it can be rather a detriment because it's like, I want to be the hero. I want to be able to do all those wacky things,
Yeah, and
I
a
did
lot of
do
my
them. It's
players
like, oh.
quickly adjusted, to the system. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, because I think that the Rollmaster series had that same problem. You'd spend like 5 hours making a character, and then it would take 5 minutes for it to get killed.
yeah, that's depressing, you know. And I found ways around that, but it's part of it is the players have to realize you're not a hero in this system. You're a guy,
Mm-hmm.
A little bit better than everybody
Yeah,
else, but
still kind of a mook.
yeah, you don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the last system I played that was kind of like that, where you didn't want to get into battle, but it was all about battle, was was a historical system,
okay.
and it was based off of like Horatio Hornblower type of role playing,
I'm not familiar.
like British Navy
Okay.
and Age of Sail.
Yeah.
So you
So
had this different. I'm sorry. Well, if you got wounded in battle or something like that, then not only did you have to wait for your wound to heal, but you had to make rolls to see if you got fever or something like that, or
infection,
you
yeah,
got infected. I'm like, really?
that's miserable. Yeah, my system is not nearly that draconian. And that's where magic comes in, because it's a fantasy setting. You can do the magic, and
Yeah.
it can prolong the players if they're clever.
Yeah.
It's a low magic setting, so magic can be useful. It can help, but you really don't want to build a character around it unless there's a lot of players. Then you can have one dedicated mage or something, but by and
Are you
large,
currently really?
mm-hmm.
Are you running a campaign now or no?
My friend Paco in Las Cruces, who was one of my long-term players, said he wanted to run his own.
Oh, okay.
So he's got 6 people now, and we're just waiting for him to kick it off, hopefully in the next couple days. So for once,
that's actually a good. That's a good number. Get more than that, then it gets a little bit cumbersome.
oh man, I think 6 is actually too big. but you can always count on 1 or 2 people not being able to make it. So it's perfect.
Yeah,
You're always going to have a couple people flaking, so 6 is perfect.
always. Yeah.
And what we do is we use a system now called Roll20. It's online, so you can design your maps and your dungeons. And you just move the characters around through that, and everybody's Skyping.
That's
And
cool.
you can do background music with the GM. You can have everything in darkness except for like the 10 feet around the players. So you can do line of sight. It's very cool.
Oh, wow. It sounds like a very detailed oriented role-playing game system.
It kind of is. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. The latest role-playing game that I picked up was this.
Baron, let's see. I can't see. I'm sorry.
Baron Munchausen.
Munchausen. Okay.
Yeah, the extraordinary adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Very cool.
So,
how does that work?
It's a game that runs without a DM, a player character, and you're sitting around the table, of course, and you turn to the player to your left. Well, tell us about that one time that you, and then you just make something up, right? And then they have to start telling that tale. And you can interrupt and stuff like that and go, surely you couldn't have done that. You would have been killed. Or you know, you can throw like wrenches in the story and so forth. And so when they're done with their tale, they turn to their right and do the same thing. And you work your way around the table. Everyone's had a tale said. And then you have a pile of coins in front of you, and you spend those coins player that you thought had the best tale, but you can't vote for yourself.
Right. It's very cool.
So it's not exactly a role-playing game, but
it's got elements.
Competitive bullshitting game.
I would not do well. I have a feeling.
It does have in the rules where you, if someone actually does the question and you're not able to think of the story, you can actually do a pass. Well, I'm much too for that story. And if you say that, then you have to buy around the drinks for the entire table. And then you get the pass.
That's very cool. Very clever.
So it's in the rules where you're drinking.
Appropriate. Oh my God, it's hot in here. I have to turn the air on. I'll be back.
Okay.
So I picked up a router from Home Depot.
Yeah?
A wood router, yeah. And now I just have to teach myself how to use it, because I've never used one before.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a plunge router from Makita.
Hmm.
And I need to be able to cut templates into wood, hollow out very specific shapes.
I've got a big project coming up this weekend.
What are you doing?
I'm going to be attempting to start building the table for my
Oh,
gaming room.
that shouldn't be too difficult. Lots of 4x4s
Yeah.
and some long bolts, washers, and I built something like that before.
Yeah. I've never actually done anything of this magnitude before.
You should
So
either
see, yeah,
take a look at the tables at TGG or talk to Chris Novellino, who made them.
yeah. I have an idea of the plan, and I just need to.
Yeah, sometimes you need that motivation.
Yeah.
Uh,
But when I'm done, it'll be a 5x8 table.
yeah, you can play just about anything on that.
It's the entire reason why I want a huge table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good
I
call.
can. As it is now, we can play games on the table I have. You played on it last,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's big.
it's obviously not big enough for the things I'd like to do.
I hear you. Hmm.
Yeah. So you're not working on any projects right now, huh?
No, no, just that board, and then I'll start working on the terraforming Mars board once once that's done. Um, so, a giant half dome of plaster for a planet, and I'll have little tiles on top of it, and
Yeah.
setting that dome into the wood, into the board itself, and then shell casings around the edge for victory point markers.
Yeah.
And then I got a gauge, like an old pressure gauge that I'm going to use to simulate the temperature of the planet. Let me see. And I ordered some of these dials that I'm hoping my friend can. Let's see if I have them. I seem to have lost where I put them. That's unfortunate. Let me check my gaming folder. There we go. So, let me stop screen sharing again.
Let me focus on you.
There you go. So some vintage dials. I just have to find one that I like and modify. I'm thinking this one. And modify the scale from negative 30 degrees to about 8 degrees Celsius or something like that. A good temperature for terraforming Mars. And then I'll have that put onto the gauge itself, the face of the gauge. And that'll be one of the elements of the board.
Cool.
If you want some copper tubing around the board, give it a steampunkish Mars feel.
Yeah. All right.
But not much painting, I'm afraid to say.
Okay, just a moment here.
All right. Hey, puppy, you awake? Oh, big dog.
No worries.
And yeah, the plaster I'm working with is flaking. It's not terribly strong. So I'm thinking of switching to a fast setting lightweight concrete.
So you're working with plaster Paris or something like that?
Exactly. Yeah. And the damn
Love
dome,
that
even though
stuff.
I put a kitchen bowl inside the dome to hollow it out, make it dry faster, save myself
Yeah.
some plaster, you know, save on the weight of the damn board. So I made it hollow, but even with that, it still took 4 days to dry, and that's just too long.
Yeah. I've given up on trying to cast stuff. I just try to scratch build things.
Repurposed. Yeah, I hear you. I tried molding a lot of different things a while back. I ordered some sci-fi like molds for crates and floorboards and walls, you know, for
Yeah.
infinity. And then the idea was you piece this stuff together and eventually you have a table
Yeah.
with the terrain, but it's just so time consuming and the molds themselves are
Well,
expensive.
yeah, I bet. I found for I have our Infinity stuff now too.
Mm-hmm.
The terrain I got for the Infinity is from Plasticraft Games,
Mm-hmm. I have some of that stuff. Yeah.
and they make fiction looking crates that I found were super simple to make, cheap as chips to buy too.
Like these. Let me see.
Um, no, they're actually like a little bigger.
Mm-hmm.
They're made of foam sheets that you just punch out, and then they're in my
Assemble
workshop, so
them.
not able to grab them. But it's I painted them all khaki type color because I'm doing Hakkaslam as
Oh
the
yeah.
as a faction. So I made a faction specific board of their the Plasticraft Games does the walls and towers that are very Hakkaslam.
Mm-hmm.
I got all those, and then a
Very cool.
bunch of
I didn't know you played Infinity.
yeah. I haven't played it in over a year though.
You know,
I
I
just
really
have
wanted to get into it. I was so excited when it came out. A D20 system with a lot of
yeah
great fluff and beautiful models and very promising. And then
yeah
they made the rules as thick as a Bible. You know?
yeah. Well, there there's this kid Kevin who
Yeah, I
goes
know
to
Kevin South.
he is yeah he is he's if it wasn't for him, there wouldn't be any type of community in Tucson for
I totally
Infinity.
agree. He holds it together. His painting is beautiful. Um, you know, I have a lot of respect for him. He does almost everything by airbrush, which is remarkable because I've tried and I just make a mess of things. Um, Airbrush to me is for terrain. That's it. Vehicles, terrain, but I would never try and do a mini with it.
Uh,
And
I don't know.
his mini whip is beautiful.
Yeah, they do. They look nice. At times he uses that airbrush as a crutch, though, and where he should actually pick up a brush and paint some of those details.
Well, seeing how he, outstrips me in every way as far as painting,
Yeah,
I'm not going to criticize his airbrush technique. It works for him. It doesn't
yeah,
work for me. I got to stick to the brush.
yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying that there are some things that airbrush is good at, but other things like obscure, you gotta pick up a brush to do. You
I
know.
agree. You have to have a combination of skills there. What I like the airbrush for, that like if I have a really fine needle on an airbrush, I'll use it on the faces of the Mini to get a very thin
Huh?
coat, uh, get that base flesh on it. Because if you try and do a base coat of flesh with a brush, sometimes it comes on too thick and then you just have a glob of flesh and you lose all the fine details on the sculpt in the face. And an airbrush will
Oh
avoid
wow.
that. But then you're
True
right.
enough.
You have
Yeah.
to go back with the brush and touch it up, for the highlights and the sunken areas with the wash. But it's good for getting that base coat very thin.
Yeah. That is true. And I don't use a airbrush at all for anything.
You
I'm just
should.
totally old school.
No, I mean, there's some things that, like I said, there's one at Harbor Freight for like $9, and it's great for terrain. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
The hardest part about it is mixing your paints correctly and finding out what you can use to thin them and what works in the airbrush.
Mm,
You do you
okay.
have a do you have a compressor?
Nope.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so I'm just doing everything by hand.
fair enough.
And I like the way it turns out.
All right. Well, I'm going to. I think this silicone is dry, so I'm going to go ahead and put a clear coat of blue on it, and then
Yeah.
uh, and then call it a night. I think, and maybe play some more BattleTech.
All right. So
Good luck with
kill
the
some
train.
clan for me. You know.
No, it's just a beta, so there's no campaign, there's no PvP.
There's no clan.
I don't think that they are introducing that in the beta right now. It's very limited. 5 maps,
Oh.
32 mechs. That's it. 4 on
Okay.
4.
Fair enough. All right. We'll talk to you later then.
Have a good
I'm
one.
gonna shut off the broadcast anyways right now.
All right.
So see you guys later.
Ciao.